Well, good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Michael Wilhite here with Southern Indiana weather. Thanks for logging on to this quick forecast update for Sunday afternoon here. A little shy of 4 in the afternoon, the 22nd of February 2015. We got some snow showers that could potentially push our way tonight. Those weakening as they head towards us, as you can see, might make a few flurries for us, but not a whole big deal. We are sponsored today by High Voltage Mobile DJ Services. You can give them a call at 630-9465, or be sure to visit them on the web at djhighvoltage.com. They have a great service that they can provide you. So give them a call and tell them Southern Indiana Weather sent you. All right, there is the radar in motion here. You can see we've made it up to the low 30s around the area today, so it's certainly much warmer than the brutal cold that we had last week. Unfortunately, we're not going to get very used to this, folks, because we got some brutal cold on the way again, but we'll take it as we can get it. There's that radar in motion, as you can see. Let me go ahead and time it out for you on future radar. You can see it here pretty well moving into Missouri, but watch how as it moves out of Missouri, it just sort of fizzles out. Might give us some flurries this evening, but certainly nothing by way of accumulations by any means. Main system is staying well down to our south, and really we've got a dry period coming up for a few days. The big story here is going to be temperatures. Temperatures are going to take just an absolute plummet again. Now, tonight's temperatures, we're going to go down into the single digits again. All right, so bundle up the kiddos again as you head them off to school in the morning. It's going to be a very cold night. I'm forecasting about 1 to 6 degrees across the area tonight, depending on where you are and how heavy your snowpack is. We're going to remain mostly cloudy tonight, so I think we're going to be able to keep those temperatures above zero. Here's for Tuesday, though. And by the time you head to Tuesday morning, some below zero weather starts to creep back into the area. Areas with a denser, heavier, thicker snowpack certainly are going to go below zero. Those of us that maybe not have the snowpack as much might stay above zero potentially. But it's going to be a very cold night. Take a look at this, though. It only gets worse. By the time you go into Thursday morning, below zero temperatures overtake a large chunk of the area, and then by the time Friday morning hits, we're below zero area wide. So we have 3 days this week that we could go below zero, and then plus single digits tonight. So some very cold temperatures on the way. Make sure you've got plenty of straw and bedding for your animals. If they are outside, bring them in if you all possibly can. And of course, you know, this is going to be some of these nights again where you leave the faucet dripping and open up the cabinet doors, things like that. I've already seen some water main breaks here in town due to the cold weather where I live here today. So it's not something to play around with, folks. And we got some big time cold coming our way once again. Now, as I said, it's going to be mostly a dry kind of a week, but let me sort of back this up and let's just show you what we got going on. We'll stay just some flurry chances tonight, nothing big, but then after that we're dry for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. By the time Wednesday comes of the afternoon, watch this next little system start to dive down, this next little clipper system. The Canadian model wants to bring a chance of some light snow showers over us. I don't think this would be anything that would be, too heavy. I don't think we're looking at inches of snow here. Light snow showers on the order of, maybe a dusting at best. It's not going to be a big deal by any means. As that system pushes out, high pressure takes over, and then high pressure eventually retreats. Notice this next system out to our west. By the time you head into next Sunday morning, we've got this what looks like a pretty decent sized snowstorm out to our west starting to move in. And the GEM here, the Canadian GEM model, would want to give us some accumulating snow for next Sunday. Is that a possibility? Yeah, it's a possibility, but not so fast. If we throw on the GFS for the same time frame, you can see it's an all-rain kind of event. So right now the models are in complete disagreement. We really can't nail down one precipitation type over the other. The GFS is saying a pretty decent-sized rain event for us. Now, if you followed me over the weekend, I showed you yesterday that the GFS was showing the potential for some snow. So this is a complete flip-flop right now, and of course we're probably not going to know more on these details until later on in this week anyway, is the reality of this. But there is a storm system that looks like it's going to affect us sometimes next weekend. That's what we can say at this point. Could be rain or it could be snow at this point. It might even fizzle out and go south of us. Nothing to get too excited about yet, but we'll keep an eye on it over the coming week. Now, as far as my early thoughts on this, if I were going to err on the side of anything, I would probably err on the side of the rain, because if you take a look at the indices indices really just are not in favor for a big snowstorm for us. Here we are where we're at currently, the North Atlantic Oscillation, the NAO. We're talking about a blocking pattern. Whenever it's negative, it's a blocking pattern in the upper North Atlantic, and that sort of slows storm systems down. They can get a chance to lock that colder air in place and dump more precipitation over us firmly in the positive, and it's going to continue trending towards the positive. In fact, here's where we're looking at right around this time frame when the storm would approach, and you can see it's firmly into the positive up here, so no blocking pattern at all. In fact, if we just take a look at the Arctic Oscillation, this is Arctic air from Canada being available for us, and you can see also firmly in the positive. You want that trending towards the neutral, or even better if it's in the negative category, to get the cold air. But what we're seeing is really that Arctic air that we're going to have in place potentially earlier on this week is certainly retreating as it tends positive again. And the PNA, the Pacific North American pattern here, this allows the Arctic Oscillation to take a nosedive over us and really filter in that cold air for the whole eastern half of the USA potentially when it's in the positive phase. Is going firmly in the negative phase. So really what you've got, if you just take a look at all the indices together, they are not favorable for a snowstorm so next weekend. So while this may look hopeful for snow lovers, this may end up being the reality. It may end up being more of a rain thing from the way it's looking to me at this point. That's a very early guess though, and certainly that could change, and I'll keep an eye on it this week and be providing you updates. Into the longer term, though, what can we expect? If we just take a look at one of our climate system models that goes out to 45 days, caution with an extreme grain of salt here, folks. This is one of those models that doesn't do overly great sometimes, but it can give us a longer look than what we can normally look at with just our normal 10 to 14 day models. And what you can see as I go through this really is these warmer shades of colors are the above normal temperatures, the greens and the blues and into the purples, below normal temperatures. Let me just take these in 5-day chunks. Some very bitterly below normal temperatures this week. And look at this. It stays below normal for a good little while. By the time we get into March here, this would be for the period of around March 9th to March 14th, you see some above normal temperatures finally starting to creep back in. But if this model is right, we don't get above normal weather until around March the 9th. So we've got some firmly below normal temperatures locked in place the next couple of weeks. And notice this, well, it sticks around for just a limited time, and then boom, the firmly below normal starts to come in. And if you just sort of average it out, really, you get an average over the next 45 days. With this, what you see is a much more below normal pattern than what you have an above normal pattern. So cool weather looks like it's going to dominate. Of course, we got lucky in December and January, and we had a pretty mild winter overall, and winter's now started to kick in here in February. It looks like the early part of March is going to be pretty chilly from all indications at this point, maybe with some warm-ups later in the month. We'll keep our fingers crossed and hope for that. The groundhog might have been right. 6 more weeks of winter, not an early spring. That's what the modeling is showing at this point, so we'll sort of have to see how it plays out. All right, again, nothing major showing up in the modeling for snow lovers. There's some hints out there. We'll keep an eye on it, but just nothing big really at this point. It looks more like it could be a rain event, but keep it tuned here to Southern Indiana Weather, and we'll update you. Let's go ahead and take a look at your 10-day forecast real quick. You can go to southernindianaweather.com and you can get this. You can also, for your Google Play or Apple App Store devices, search for southernindianaweather.com to download a great mobile app where you can get this forecast, our mobile radar, and a bunch of other great things as well. Again, a chilly night tonight. Some flurries possible this evening, but maybe some potential clearing later on in the night, but it's going to be a pretty gloomy evening tonight most overall. Down to around 6 here in Huntingburg, where the Southern Indiana Weather Office is located. Places to the north of here certainly could get a little bit lower than that, so maybe a range of about 1 to 5 or 6 across the area tonight. It's going to be a cold night no matter how you cut it. Tomorrow, not much improvement. Partly sunny, bitterly cold. We're only going up to the teens for a high, about 15. Below zero likely on Monday night. A little bit warmer for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, of course, Wednesday, that next system moves in, and we get a chance of some light snow showers Wednesday night as we only dip down to 8. The Arctic air is locking into place, but that will help. Those clouds will help to sort of mediate that a little bit. Into the low 20s on Thursday, but then look at that. After the snow showers, after this next Arctic clipper system is passed through and behind that cold front, it ushers in some very bitterly cold air, and we're talking to potentially 2 degrees below zero by the time you wake up on Friday. Friday morning here. So very cold air taking place. The Arctic air will start to retreat out for the weekend, and then it looks like by the weekend we go up to the low to mid 30s. That will be a welcome change. What I've worded this as right now is just a chance of rain or snow. Really don't know what that's going to be. My guess at this point is probably going to be rain, based on the way the pattern is looking to me at this point. But again, we'll have to trend that and see. Mid 30s, that could even go a little bit higher. We'll keep our fingers crossed and see. By the way, we're up to 13.25 inches of snow now here at the Southern Indiana Weather Office for the winter. So we have now had an above normal snowfall, finally, with all the snow that fell this week. That didn't happen exactly in the way that earlier in the year I thought it would, but nature likes to throw us some loops. We've had some decent snowfalls. Who's ready for spring? I know I'm certainly ready for it. Let's bring it on. No signs of it right now, folks, but maybe later on. Keep your fingers crossed. All right, that is it for this update, folks. Thanks for watching our latest long-range update. We'll have another one of these out for you later in the week. Keep it tuned to southernindianaweather.com on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at SouthernINWX for more details. I'm meteorologist Michael Wilhite. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you next time.